Hey everyone, as you know, we have had such a huge transition as a family moving out here to Niagara. It all was precipitated by one of our kids having a very serious mental health crisis. I was working as a senior leader at the time. We were living in a really nice little town, but what we found out is for years my poor child had been bullied. And you know, when we went to the school, and I'm not down on teachers, my husband's a teacher, but it became very apparent that there was nothing that was going to be done to solve this issue long term. We were faced with the prospect that our kid was going to be with the same kids that had been bullying him for years until the end of high school, and we just weren't willing to risk it. So we made some big changes. We sold our house, we sold our cottage, we uprooted our family, and mid-year through the school year, we had them start at a new school, moving back here to Niagara, which is where I'm from originally, and we moved to the country. First time we'd ever lived in the country, but oh my gosh, I can't tell you what a good choice that was. And of course, part of all of this was me leaving a senior leadership role and starting my own business. And honestly, it scared the bejesus out of me, but having a vision. I was on a mat one day, yoga mat, and I had this beautiful picture in my mind with such clarity. You know how you have those moments of clarity in your life where you realize that you know exactly what your destiny is? Well, I pictured being in the middle of a barn that had been refurbished, and that it was a retreat and training space, and that it was a place where people could come and have authentic conversation, who could value each other, who felt safe, and that I was in that space facilitating these retreats. And so sure enough, we went on the hunt to try to find those places, and we wound up here in Niagara on a beautiful piece of property on 16 Mile Creek. Here it is, winter, that lake is frozen, and we are going to be skating on it this weekend. And I can't wait to share with you how the barn is coming along, because as you can probably imagine, finding a refurbished barn is not an easy thing. But this barn actually has a very cool story. Not only is it the beginning of the dream, the vision of a business, which started with no business plan or any planning other than, I know it's the right thing to do, but it also has its own legacy. Across the world during the Second World War, we needed to call upon women to do new and important jobs, including harvesting food. And so Niagara is no different. Across the street, we have grapevines, we've got peach trees, we've got all kinds of produce that grow in this area. And so in this barn, we had up to 17 women at any given time staying like sisters, side by side, and this is where they would eat their meals and cook their meals. This is where they would sleep. This is where they would hang out together. So it's called a farmerette barn, and it's pretty magnificent because it's one of the last, if not the last, still standing farmerette barns since the Second World War here in Niagara. So I can't wait to share with you when the barn is done, how we have managed to keep their signatures on the wall, and we're going to have them in a beautiful prominent position in the barn to remember their legacy. But also, I can't wait to share with you how we are transforming it. So come with me this way. When you come to this site, or when you watch the next video, and I do hope that you come here sometime to Greatness Magnified, either for training or a retreat or one of my masterminds, you will come in this door. Although it will not be, kind of this makeshift, like these metal pipes and beams. This is actually going to be a deck. So you'll be able to sit out and look out over the water at the trees and maybe the kayakers going by, and be able to come in through this entrance. Now, we're going to have a little bit of an off-roading trip here because we don't even have steps yet. All right, come. Be very, very careful as you're coming in. So here we are inside. This is the main level. This is where we're going to have training, retreats, masterminds, and so forth. We are going to have a beautiful fireplace at this one end so that you can come, including in winter, like a day like today, where we can get warm and cozy. We're going to have some chairs and some couches around the fireplace. And then when we have larger groups, we'll be able to push those to the side and pull out large tables and chairs. Just depends on the group and depends on the vibe. You can probably see it is truly a workshop at the moment. My husband and my father, two of my favorite men, other than my son, of course, in the world, are busy every single weekend and sometimes even in the evenings, transforming this barn into greatness magnified. Now I want to share with you my office. Come on upstairs because you're going to see a lot of videos coming out of my office in the future. Now the idea behind having 2 levels is that there is an opportunity to separate the spaces. And so we can set up and we can have a place where people congregate and we serve and support. And then I have a place where I can do my creative work, I can write, I can plan, I can film my vlogs, do my lives, and of course also have my coaching calls, which are almost always are through video conference and phone. So my office is going to be over here, the desk. So just picture me sitting here being very official and busy. And we're going to have a space over here with a beautiful backdrop that is going to be for filming. And then over here is going to have a beautiful fireplace with stone. And then all across here are going to be shelves full of my books. And of course, other mementos, things that inspired me and hopefully also inspire the other people who come and join me in my office. So it's a little chilly. Just ask Stacy, who's filming this right now. It's a little chilly in here, but we've got a fireplace, we've got furnaces, air conditioning units, all that stuff. I'm telling you, it is kind of like retrofitting a home, but we're using all of the existing foundation, all the existing walls. We are trying so hard to preserve the original integrity of the structure because of its important legacy. I hope you've enjoyed our tour of Greatness Magnified, and I can't wait to see you come out either virtually or in person and experience what we are putting here together and our dream.